Welcome to the channel. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Rod. You've joined the Pedal Picassos again. If it's your first time, please hit subscribe, give us a thumbs up, drop a comment in below, be a part of the conversation. We're all about pedals, all things guitar pedal related. Going through the NUX MG-300 again, I thought I'd show you the cabs. The latest firmware has got some Choptones cabs in it amongst the stock standard cabs, and I'm enamoured by this Choptones cab. It's a Celestion Vintage 30 loaded quad, and it's a Brit V30 Choptones quad that you'll find in the latest firmware for the MG-300. Right, I've got the desktop editor open here. I'm going to go through some cabs. I've got the Brit 800, the JCM 800 amp loaded up. I've also got, in this panel, there's an EQ. It's just flat, pretty much. I think there's 1.3 dB at 1.2K. 100 Hertz is taken out by about 1 dB. But anyway, it's not doing too much. In fact, if I just bypass that for the moment. And I will, because I want to go through these cabs and show you what we've got. Okay, so once we click on the desktop editor, you can go through all of the cabs that are assigned. This is the JC 120, the Jazz Chorus 120 cab. And we've got the JCM 800 running through it. Right, the mic on it is a C414 condenser mic. You can change the mics, so we can go to an E906, a 57, a Shure 57, a U87, and we can move them off axis. Now, I don't hear any sonic difference. You can move it from the edge to the middle to the center. Now, there's no difference on these files. Now, that would be because only one IR or one emulation has been loaded up for each of these. You can import your own IRs. I don't know whether that enables you to have selections for center, edge and middle. If you do have IRs that captured snapshots of the edge and the center or the middle of the speaker cone, that's another thing worth investigating. But you certainly do get different sonic characteristics with different mics that you select in the basic software. Righto. So that's the Jazz 212, which is the JC Jazz Chorus 120. Okay, we go to the next one, which is a black 112, which is a black face Fender. Now I've got a dirty amp dialed up here because I wanted to just give some character, you know. I will say that we've got some plate reverb in there. Just because I want to give some room characteristics, yeah? And I'm going to go for a Shure SM57 mic on all of these cabs from here on in, rather than go through 30 cabs and 4 mics on each. It would be too long. I want to give you an idea of the difference in sonic characteristics of these cabs. So that was the Tweed 112. This is, sorry, that was the Blackface 112. This is the Tweed 410. we've got the Tweed 112. Back to the 410. They're all good sounds, there's no doubt about that. And they're decent Fender emulations, even though I've got a JCM 800 amp selected. Once you select these with their head, and I've gone through all the amps, there's a high watt 412, custom 412, a lot dark. California, it's a boogie combo. If I go to the Cali amp that goes with this cab, it's a totally different beast. And similarly, if I was to go to a deluxe reverb or a twin reverb, right, the big clean amp, and change that for a jazz chorus 212. You can tell how, or you can experience how the cabinet has got such a sonic signature for any particular amp. Sure, an amp might sound, a Fender amp might sound different to a Marshall amp, but the speaker boxes that are loaded, or the speakers that are loaded in boxes to serve these amps, have such a sonic characteristic of their own. There's such a big part of the sonic footprint. Right. We were at the Cali 112 there, and now we've got a twin reverb going to the Cali 112. So a very clean amp with a California Mezza Boogie. Right. I'm going to go, my amp is going to go back to a Brit 800. I'm going back to that. And we've got a Vox AC15. The 212 AC30. And here we are with a Greenback 12 loaded. Or G12 Celestion, not so much Greenback, not vintage. They've got a bit more punch to there, a bit tighter, I don't know, a stiffer cone. I don't know, you can cork sniff all day. It's definitely different to the vintage 30 quad. I'll go straight to the vintage quad. Oh. Now, greenbacks have got resonant frequency of around 70 cycles, but you can certainly hear the difference between the two. A G12 as opposed to a vintage. In between that was a T75 412. 75 watt Celestians in a 4x12 cabinet. So a 300 watt cab as opposed to some vintage 30s. So giving you 120 watt rating and 4x12 combo. These were capable of handling a lot higher power. So a lot more headroom, or a lot more volume could be pumped into them before they would break up. You compare the T75 with the vintage, which is breaking up from the word go. Okay. We've got slow, so a Soldano 412 cab. And that's somewhere in between the 75 and the vintage. Really nice, I do like it. HBE. There's a Boogie Recto 412. Matched with a dual rectifier head. Beefy. So, okay, it's a VH4 cab. Oh, it's got some crunch to it, as Matt Preston would say, crunch. Nice. So Vibro 212, Vibroverb or a Vibro King 212. I'm going to go to a Vibro King head for that amp. Nice and clean. One thing I do really like about the MG-300 is, yes, it's got some great sounding dirty tones in it, but it's got some brilliant sounding clean tones in it. Sweet. So this is a Buddha Drive 112. Pausing. So what I'm getting at is here you've got a myriad of tones if you want to mix and match with amps and cabinets that go with them. The Zen Drive matching cabinet. There we go, purple with purple. So it's got its own characteristic. The head itself is quite dirty. And here we are. So we've got a Dr. Z by the looks of it. And I'm wanting to monitor this still because... So I'm going to go back to my Brit 800. So my Marshall JCM 800, and go back to this matchless, or Dr. Z, I think it's matchless, or one of the two. To continue to demonstrate the sound of these cabs. All right, super reverb with a Marshall amp. Brit Blues 212, this is a blues breaker, cab. Yeah, you can have fun with that all day. So here's a matchless DC 112 cabinet. G12M, Celestians. Uber 412. And now we get into acoustic guitar IRs, right? There's two of those. There's a Taylor and a Martin. We're not going to put our amps through that. You could run your 800 through a bass cab. If you wanted to do some down tune, heavy stuff, so you could wind in an 8x10 cab. And an Ampeg 810. And that would pack a punch and a wallop for your bottom end, if you wanted to. Right, Choptones. This is probably the most responsive amp-like tone that I've come across in the MG-300. Now there are four factory presets with Choptones IRs, or Choptones cabs. All of the Choptones cabs are without a mic, right? There's no mic on them, and you can't add a mic to them, so there's no additional IR for a microphone. I don't know whether that's responsible for making them a lot more amp-like. This has got a lot of delay on it, which I will really just get rid of. So that's the American Drive, and here's the Marshall 800, right, with the Choptones cab. It's so amp-like. So I would absolutely use this at a gig as that basic platform for my guitar tone. Put a drive pedal before it, hey, great. But this is just to demonstrate these the difference between, say, the Choptones and what's in there as a, say, similar, a T75. Different tone altogether, If I go to one of the other 412s, any of the other 412s, and then compare it to the Choptones. I mean, sure, you've got some more output level on it. Now, of course, on these you can dial in your own IR. So if I go to the user, yes, it's going to make a liar out of me now. Oh yes, user, CT Brit, user. So my level. So it's difference between that and if I'm wanting another cab, let me get it without saving that. Go back to the factory, dial up the Greenback 412. And the Choptones. Yes, I've got lots more gain, but it's just a brilliant tone. So this has been all the cabs and a focus on the Choptones cabs that you get with the latest firmware download. Hey, drop us a comment, let us know. I'm rambling.